Okay, hi Virgos, and welcome to your June 2021 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk to you about the energies coming in for your sign in June. Moving pretty quickly today, Virgo, we have a lot of content going up over the last few days, so we're going to have a very to the point reading today and look into all of the energies coming up for you in June. I think that it's going to be a truly revealing and wondrous time for you to just understand where your energy is going. You know, what am I contributing my time, money, and energy to? What do I think that I'm involved in versus what is it really? Gemini season this month for you is going to cause a lot of clicking, like suddenly realizing people's true colors, suddenly realizing where you want to put a lot of your time. And it's going to start in the mind, okay? It's not going to be something that has a lot of super physical material aspects to it, but you're basically going to really start being able to draw the dots together in June, where you no longer feel very confused about what roles people are serving in your life. So I think that your relationships are going to get a lot more optimized. It's very easy in June to see Virgo maybe letting a few relationships or unnecessary energy contributions go and becoming much lighter. So all the mutable signs are having a call to lighter energy, lighter burdens. So not feeling like you have to carry so many other people along, not feeling like you have to put out the same amount of effort that you did before, because it feels like you're coming out of a burnout phase or out of a phase of overworking. And basically June is going to serve as your sort of comforting time to start to enjoy what you do a little bit more. So taking a more broad look into joy in your life, like what are you enjoying? What is bringing you joy? And how can you just narrow it down a little bit more? There's so many different things coming up in this reading. 9 of Wands reversed, 5 of Wands, 8 of Swords, 7 of Cups. Lots of different things that you seem to be involved in or signed up for. What those cards have in common is eccentricity, eclectic pursuits, things which have many, many facets and many layers. It feels complicated, something feels overwhelming, and you've basically through June got to understand how to make things just a little bit easier and simple, all right? It's something that everybody is striving for, but it also seems that you've got to get honest, okay, perhaps with yourself, and I think that you've been working on this for a while, but the way that our minds are viewing things now, the way that we are considering goals, aspirations, things that we want to accomplish in life, this becomes different in June, okay? So we're seeing the world a little bit differently. We're seeing some of the things we've previously wanted differently. And as you start to see those things, there can be a little bit of a battle of the mind, or a sudden realization of like how you've overdone it or how something has been overbearing. And then there's just this very quick change, this very quick shift in how you sort of contemplate and how you start to map things out and plan. Okay, so there's a change in your planning process, and it becomes much more workable, like something that's actually viable, something that actually gives a result instead of is just a planning process. And you're ending the month on the world. Okay, so you start the month sort of in the major arcana card of the moon, and you're ending on the world. So you basically go from confusion and illusion, and you end the month in true vision and truth. Okay, so you're going, this could even be from like dishonesty to honesty. Like you might see that someone in your life has not been totally honest. That's not going to be for everyone, but if there's any type of dishonesty in your life, I think it comes out in the month of June. I think that becomes very clear. And dishonesty is a heavy word, but basically anything which is not as it appears. Okay, so the deception of appearances, the way that things might look like what they're not, becomes streamlined in June, and you start to really get a huge dose of the truth, all right? Positively, though, you're going to have more choices. You're going to have more things to choose from. You're going to have more power to make a different decision. So I'm not feeling that Virgo is stuck. I'm not feeling, and if Virgo is stuck, it feels more elusive. You've got the Eight of Swords, you've got the moon coming up. So it's like, I'm just so sure that I'm stuck in this situation, but in reality, it's not actually that sticky, okay? So understanding that things are actually much more free than you realize is an important aspect of this month. And through that, healing your heart. Okay, so healing your heart through understanding you are more free than you think. And then seeing like why you got so trapped in a certain way of being. Did it have to do with money? Did it have to do with security? Like where was that connecting point? And as you start to heal those things, you are getting a total shift in your world. So let's talk about the week-to-week Virgos and see how that is coming through. In the first week of June, you have the Nine of Wands reversed, rooted down by the moon. So it doesn't have to be that painful. Like you can just let yourself get through some of these final tasks that are in front of you. It feels very task oriented. It feels like you're having to take on a lot of work, or maybe this is even coming from May. You might be done. Nine of Wands reversed can sometimes be like finally finishing. It's either finally finishing something that was too difficult, more difficult than it needed to be, or it's feeling discouraged about having to do it. So some of you have a shift in energy output coming up, and it's like you don't need to keep putting yourself in this situation. You don't need to keep the moon energy so powerful with like what you're taking on. Like, I know that I'm going to take on this many hours at the job or this many classes, and in reality, it's like very difficult to actually do that. So it's about either pulling back a little bit or upping your health and upping your vitality more to make this stuff work. Week 2, you've got Three of Swords rooted down by Five of Wands. And basically it's like a cleanse. It's like a karmic cleansing time. Some of you might need to have a little bit more exercise or more healthy competition. Otherwise, you might find that you're surrounded by argumentative people, or that competition becomes a part of life in a different way. Your heart will heal through exercise or healthy competition. Any type of tournaments, any type of competitive sports, anything like that is really good. You've got this like blockage, okay? Or some Virgos have a blockage that just requires like physical activity or some type of solar plexus activation and heart healing to overcome. So whatever you can do to really heal the heart, give your heart what it wants, as well as solar plexus healing as well. So goals, desires, strategies becoming something enjoyable for solar plexus. That will be great in the second week. So week 3, you've got King of Swords reversed, rooted down by Seven of Cups. This is an opportunity for you to understand the road that's actually in front of you, and to not get caught up in, again, false ideas of what's in front of you. It's so honest. It's getting so truthful, what you're going through this month. You really see yourself. You really see your reflection in the third week and the fourth week. You really see what you've created for yourself, and that's neutral. It's not something that's necessarily good or bad, but through that vision, through that truthful, honest vision, that's where you're most powerful, is in seeing the truth. Like, truth is one of the most powerful things in this world. It can be difficult to see the truth, but I always like to say it's better to see the truth and have a hard time with that than it is to, find bliss in lies. There's an argument that ignorance is bliss. Yes, of course. And it is true to a degree, but Virgo is just such a sign that desires honesty. So if you have some type of weird fact that comes out about people around you or about something you've been involved in, have your moment with that and try to let it just be good that you found the truth, or that you understand how things actually are. Instead of getting freaked out about it. And then definitely try to not cover your eyes up and ignore the truth. Okay, so let's talk about fourth week, Eight of Swords, rooted down by the world. That can happen. A lot of times when we see an ugly truth or something that's difficult to process, a lot of the times we want to, avert our gaze. And I think that you've got to free yourself from that feeling of entrapment, that feeling of safety in entrapment is something that Virgo's overcoming. I mean, that's big, that's probably the main focus of overcoming for Virgo in June is overcoming safety within entrapment. All right. With the world rooting that down, like that realization or that progress that you make there will change your world, and it will create a big ending phase. You're probably having an ending phase one way or another, though, so why not make it really potent in the sense that you can see it, you can see what's going on, and you can allow that healing to come through. And through July, okay, like as we move out of June and into July, I really think that you're in a totally new phase and you're in a totally new paradigm. But what is that being made of? You're making that in June. And oftentimes when we have those types of changes, it does test the current structures of our lives. So if you are having those tests, don't let it be discouraging. Let it be a celebration of life's non-rigid tendency, It's bad when things are totally predictable, okay? That gets old really quick. We got to have surprises sometimes. Anyway, Virgo, let's talk more about those surprises in your extended reading on Patreon. You can click the center of your screen if you want to get that. I do weekly forecasts as well. Otherwise, your likes, comments, and subscribes here on Patreon are always making my day. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you guys over on Patreon for the extended. Much love. Bye.